Laser tag employees of Reddit. What was the weirdest things you've seen happen in the arena? Not an employee, but a player. Back when I was early 20s, me and a few guys went laser tag. Since there was only a couple of us, we got paired with a group of kids and some of their parents. During the match, one of the fathers had looped his arm through his daughter's vest and was using her as a shield, and she was just getting carried around like a little shooting shield. Still makes me laugh. This right here is my favorite in the whole thread. Worked at a small family-run laser tag for about 3 years. I saw so much weird stuff over the years, and with 3 floors in pretty much total darkness, only lighting was UV lights, I knew I was pretty much bound to find weird stuff going on. The worst thing I happened to find was a group of friends, about 7 or 8 people, came in to play a few games. Fast forward to their second game, and as the game is going on, I walk around a corner to a couple, with her hands down his pants and his hand down her pants, fully going at it. Obviously I had to ask them to leave, although I did want to know what made them even want to do that when there were kids around too. The most SFW weird thing I saw was probably 3 or 4 dads had unenthusiastically joined the game and found them in a large open space on the ground floor trying to beat each other doing handstands. I later found out they were dads of kid gymnasts. When I was young, my family went to play laser tag. This was in New Orleans. Mostly kids were playing that day, but there was also an older guy, maybe 25. This older guy was competitive. He wanted to win bad. Here I am, probably 13 years old, running around like James Bond from N64 GoldenEye, using the structures to cover myself. I round a corner looking for prey, and what do I find? The older guy, coming at me full speed backwards, bent over, with his gun between his legs. But first, his strategy was simple yet effective. If he shoots between his legs, no one can shoot his chest or back. He was an unbeatable butt gunner. Worst game ever. Sex, condoms, tampons, used and unused, poop, all of these things can be found in laser tag arenas. The weirdest thing I've seen happen was when I was working in the arena and a kid crap in the middle of the game. Some poor soul game running through and slipped in it. That was fun. Second weirdest was finding crappy underwear in the bathroom. It looked like the scene from Dumb and Dumberer. Third weirdest was the car fire in the parking lot where I had to pull a kid from a car seat. Those places are black holes of normalcy. Everything is weird there. Third weirdest thing is definitely the weirdest. Former arcade employee, worked there for a year. We had birthday kid vomited. Didn't tell employees. Had the next group come in and the girl slipped and fell face first into it. Kids who screamed Fortnite then proceeded to fall down when they got shot, crawling around and begging to be revived. I told one he could just get up, as the vest's power back on. He just looked at me and said he was playing Fortnite. A kid came out, calm as crap, nose obviously broken and blood pouring everywhere. Said a kid had hit him with a gun. Filed an incident report. Never heard from the kid again. A Hispanic family came in, a lady fainted and the family started screaming at me to get them some alcohol so she would wake up. I did a lot of wingwoman work there. Oftentimes girls or guys would ask me to put them on the same team as someone they liked, and it was cute seeing the results. Myra, necesito cerveza por favor. Yo de puto escuchar me. Not an employee, but my husband and I got engaged at a laser tag arena. He invited about 40 friends to play a massive game and used the code name "Will you marry me" so that I saw it when he tagged me. Worked at one when I was a teenager. Guy came in, sat in a corner and shot up when nobody was looking. Then sat in a corner and was found a few hours later dead from an overdose. Was only found when a kid brushed up against him and told us about it. Yikes. Not an employee, but I saw a kid, like 9, take out a group of 16-year-olds that me and my group of friends had been trying to eliminate for like an hour. US Army wants to know your location. I saw a kid lick another kid's face after he shot him. He also moaned like he just came in his jorts. Kids in Oklahoma are weird. Jorts, get out of my country. Went in with a group of old army buddies. 2 were qualified sharpshooters, and got absolutely wrecked by a team of 10-12-year-olds. Little bastards were so fast. So what you are saying is child soldiers are effective? Many years ago, because I assume watching kids hunt down and shoot their classmates is now less of an appropriate birthday activity than it once was, we did periodic lock-ins where people could pay a flat fee and run though as many games as they wanted to. To keep it fresh and keep people from just camping the corners, we ran different game modes interspersed with regular games plus served pizza and had the arcade. Most people would run a few games and take a break during one of the normal tag games to get some food or chat. A group of 3 teenage boys had run every single game for 3 hours and were just behaving oddly. Their scores were low. They didn't seem to care which team they were on. I followed them, they saw me and played normally if half-heartedly. I waited another 2 games and then sent in some regulars as better spies. About 2 minutes and the lights come up because someone popped the emergency door. The kids had, for reasons known only to stupid teenagers, removed a chain link gate that kept people out of the fog machine area and had been adding weed to the machine, apparently convinced they were going to make everyone high. This is both incredibly stupid and dedicated. One time a 7-year-old kid came in with his mom for his birthday party, all excited. They brought party favors and all kinds of stuff. Time went by and no one had showed up, and he got a little sadder every minute. After about 30 minutes, no one had come at all and they left. It's been 25 years and I still don't have birthday parties anymore. I had my wedding at a venue with laser tag, so I played against an 8-year-old's birthday party in my wedding dress. Definitely lost. They did something similar to my uncle at his bachelor party. Everyone showed up all black, except him, whom they put in a white suit. Not a laser tag arena, and maybe not the weirdest, but there is this Nerf dart arena kind of close to me, and I used to go there often. For the longest time they only had 3 kinds of darts: the regular orange, yellow, blue darts, the green discs, and the red mega darts to use. But Nerf introduced the yellow ball darts. They're basically a small, yellow foam golf ball, and they were a game changer. Now these things could be fired accurately all the way across the arena, and most guns can hold 40 of them in a clip, so they were used a lot for ammunition. But they have another use, one that was found quickly. If you stepped on one and weren't paying attention, it could easily make you fall on your butt. So, we would throw them into the middle of the arena where people were running the fastest, and make the person fall on their face. This was mainly used in Capture the Flag, but it works in all the other game modes too. TLDR. Little yellow foam balls made a Nerf arena into a deadly game of Twister. I could just imagine a few weeks later, local laser tag arena closes down after child falls on face. Not a laser tag employee, but had a weird experience at one of my own birthday parties. I may have been 10 at the time, and we were about to go in when an employee stops us. Says they accidentally double booked and would we mind playing with another group. More's the merrier, I thought. Then the other party comes in and takes off their UK Territorial Army uniforms to gear up. So there we are, a bunch of children playing laser tag with a bunch of actual soldiers. I would love to say my good score was a result of being a decent shot, but in reality I was a 10-year-old and managed to get a crawl space in which nobody could see me in the dark. I also imagine that they were going easy on me as I was the birthday boy XD. I hope one of them became a drill instructor and regularly tells recruits about the time he watched his squad get wiped out by a Duggan 10-year-old. Saw a couple of teens, high as kites, spend the entire 20 minutes staring at a strobe light, not even holding phasers, just serving as points farm for others. Well, at least they were easy points. I was employed by a laser tag place for a few months in my teens. After working several nights a week, the weirdest thing I saw was my first pay stub. It consisted of a check for $70 accompanied by a bag of game tokens as my compensation. I did not stay there long. 2 kids were playing in the arena. Every few seconds you would hear a shot. Then for a minute straight nothing. 2 minutes, nothing. Then it resumes. Next game. Someone found a turd in the arena. One of the managers screwed one of the employees back there when we were closing. Lots of people run and get clocked in the head with a laser tag gun. Only a few bleed. Some days we didn't care too much and just stood by the door playing on our cell phone the entire shift. In the winter time, the empty business space in the strip mall next to us had a pipe burst. It flooded into laser tag and we had to shut down. I was frequently grabbed and used as a human shield. Saw a huge pile of vomit and laser tag and decided it wasn't my job as I was getting off in 15 minutes. 2 minutes before I got off, someone else found it. Still had to clean it. This thing looked like someone ate a large pizza and threw it up. Bit late, but one time a family of 4, mum, dad and 2 boys age 6 I think were playing when all of a sudden I hear a scream. I run to where I heard it to be met with the 2 kids of the family covered in their orange tea and another kid around 10 or 11 screaming his butt off in terror as the 2 kids tried to share their poop with him. I quickly called over the parents who ended up having to drag their crap covered kids out of the room, leaving the place being shut down for a week and 3 sets of equipment worth £240 being thrown out. This post is made for me. I worked at a laser tag place about a year and I've seen some funny and weird crap. Guy wanted a head start so he ran in there and wouldn't respond to my calls for him to get out and wait, had to search for home for 20 minutes. Kids beat another kid with the gun. That one was hard to explain to the parents. And an angry land whale of pure Karen was watching from the observation room when her kid punched another kid. So she proceeded to run out of the arena and scream at the child who was on the ground crying after getting punched. Imagine running around having the time of your life and then some kid punches you and you get yelled at. Former Laser Quest employee. I never had to clean up poop or vomit, but my co-workers did. I got fairly lucky there. Since I did a lot of the tech and cleanup in the maze, I found a lot of random things. Never found condoms, but I did find a pocket knife, an iPod, and money here and there. We always held on to stuff, just in case we got a call. Honestly, I mainly found a lot of dust because of those fog machines. During one of the overnighters, a lady tried to tip me, but I kindly told her we weren't allowed to take tips. She was quite drunk and decided that putting cash down my shirt was a good idea. My manager looked at me, shaking his head and said, "Well, you gotta take that now." I think that was the only time I got a tip, lol. One of my favorite things about working there was finding the hidden code names from former employees. My location eventually closed down, so all of those names are now lost. We made so many good memories that I don't think I can ever forget. In the arena, found an open tub of Vaseline. Thought it was for butt stuff, but actually people smear it over the sensors to cheat. A pro was leaving it in the maze so he wouldn't have to smuggle it in every game. Outside the maze, some Karen tried to waffle stomp a kid's turd down a storm drain in the bathroom. Soiled pants were in the garbage. Didn't even try to clean up and just left the mess for us. This post gave me flashbacks to Ultrazone and San Diego and trying to beat the Sentinel, which if I remember correctly was a massive purple exclamation mark. Ian Flux was the most busted vest in that arena. Every time someone had that vest and gun, that person became amazing. My cousin got permanently banned from a laser tag arena when we were growing up for Spartan kicking a kid. I think he was like 13 and I was 12. And we went in against a huge group of 8-year-olds. The little bastard's strategy was to get 4 of them and just stand right around you like 4 inches from your body and just repeatedly shoot you, and there was nothing you could do about it. He got tired of it and just pushed all of them away from him and started to walk out. They thought it was funny and ran to chase and surround him again, and he just turned around and kicked one of them right in the vest, and the kid flew back at least a good 5 feet and smacked into a giant foam translucent traffic cone. My cousin was 6 feet 2 at 13, so he's lucky he didn't hurt the kid. I don't condone what we did, but at 12 years old it was the funniest crap I had ever seen. Nothing funnier than chest kicking a small kid as a prepubescent teen. My older sister, 15, did it to a real bastard of a 9-year-old, who was also my cousin, and therefore fair game. One Christmas and I, 13, laughed so hard I cried. Looking back now, it was kinda fricked up. I'm not an employee, but one time I was at the laser tag place with some friends, and it was about 5 minutes into the round and I heard a big thud next to me. I looked over to see my friend laying on the ground with 3 of his teeth on the floor. Apparently he ran into another person's gun and that is what knocked them out. My manager sold weed out of the laser tag arena. Guys would come to the front desk, pay for a game and grab a dinner bag hidden somewhere in the arena. Fast forward to 10 children and one dude who looked like Badger from Breaking Bad playing laser tag together on a Saturday afternoon. I got banned from our local laser tag, and I'm a grown butt adult. I was cornered by a young girl who was 15 and she wouldn't move out of my way. She just kept shooting me point blank in the chest for like 5 minutes and wouldn't stop. I kept saying, okay, you got me, now please move, and she would just laugh and shoot me again. Finally I got pee enough and said I didn't pay to get in here to stand in the corner this whole game, and pushed her aside and walked off. She started screaming at the top of her lungs, Jason, Jason, and suddenly all the lights came on and the game stopped. Jason comes running in. Apparently he's the 18-year-old manager and a friend of this girl. She tells him this lady just hit me. I want her arrested, and Jason proceeds to call the police. I told the cops what really happened and they got the girl to agree not to press charges as long as I was banned. Freaking little brat. Whoa, screw her. Don't work there, but one time this kid dragged his dad in here with him. His dad was colorblind and couldn't tell the difference between the teams. He just awkwardly fired at everyone. Props to him for trying for his kid though. Not me, but a friend. As they recalled, there was once a kid who took a massive dump in one of the corners and somehow wasn't caught by the other 19 participants. A pretty crappy situation if you ask me. Crappy pun as well, lol, no offense. I worked for almost 7 years in a laser quest and never had to clean poop out of the arena. Vomit. Sure, tons of it, but never poop. I guess I was lucky. Also, the only people I ever knew to frick in the arena while I was on duty were 2 of the assistant managers, and that isn't something I saw happen so much as found evidence of. The weirdest thing that happened at the arena was that guy I found leaned up against the wall during an overnighter event, eating a foot-long sub. He explained that he was hungry and I didn't press for more details than that. I guess he probably got it from Wawa, since I can't imagine where else someone would get a sub in the dead of night. Not illicit but paintball. I regularly took my significantly younger brother and a few of his friends paintballing. They were 12 or 13 or thereabouts. I was in my 20s. I'd play a few rounds with them, and in the beginning I taught them how to rush the other team quickly and get behind them. High risk, high reward stuff. They loved it, and this tactic made them absolute terrors during most matches. During one outing there was another group of kiddos about the same age and they were entitled Little C. They'd camp out, wouldn't call out, and would complain to the refs constantly. A few matches in, my brother and his friends had had enough and formulated a plan. They sent out one of their friends as bait to try to find out where these kids were camping out. When he found them, he just started spraying at their hut to keep their heads down while the other 3 snuck up behind them, burst into the hut, and sprayed the crap out of the Little C. The refs asked that they not to return leave after that. Proud day for me. Wait, were the annoying kids banned or your brother? Cause using suppressive fire to set an ambush shouldn't get you banned. The birthday kid was having a party and was a real price of work. At 14 and still running around, kicking and punching anything is his way. They rocked up an hour and a half late from their booking time, expecting to start at the same time as another party. All the mother, who is a tier 1 Karen, could say is not her fault and deal with it after sparking to the manager, me. So anyway, we managed to get them in and run the party, brief them all as normal and send them in. Not 30 seconds later I get an alert on the system that one of the packs is being handled too roughly. The kid comes out and it's the birthday kid claiming that the pack does work and wants a new one. I explain what has happened, reset the pack and send him in. Almost straight away he's back out and in a fit with the same alert on the system. It's the policy that anyone who has come out twice with the system warning that they are to sit the rest for the game out. The kid wasn't having any of this and threw a tantrum all the way back to his mum. She comes back fuming, spitting out, "Why have you disqualified my son from his own party and who gave you permission to do this?" I explain what the system alerts are but get discounted by the mother as an error, insisting that her child would never hurt a fly. So we decide to send the kid back in with a new pack, and not minutes later, a loud whack, a pack offline and the same kid coming out with the gun in 2 pieces. Mother sees this and questioning why I sent him in with a broken pack. Pull up the security footage and clearly shows the kid smashing the gun against the wall. At this point, I call up the boss to come down, told him what happened. He pulls out the parts list and quotes the mother what is owed for the damages. Out of rage, she storms out of the venue with her kid, leaving the entire party behind and threatening to sue us. Never got the letter from an attorney and the party wasn't paid for. TLDR. Tier 1 Karen and her kid came in for a party. Kid broke a pack. They left threatening to sue us. Man, I think the manager where I worked would have just straight up started crying if someone broke a phaser in two. Programming and maintenance on those things was a yike. Worked at a laser quest as a teenager. One time while a game was going, a kid starting having seizures. Handled it in the proper way. Made sure the kid was okay. Got an ambulance called and had the arena evacuated. After my manager came back to be with the kid, I ran up to the lobby to find his mom. As I began to escort her back to her son, the first question she asked was, "Am I getting my money back?" I'm not an employee, but I saw someone getting his D sucked while he wrecked my team from an obscure sniping spot. Pardon my English, wasn't my first language. The BJ was a power up. I saw a kid who was sitting in the corner and just saying pew pew. The funny thing is that he forgot his gun and jacket. Wasn't my shift, but a lady was running, ran into another person, got knocked out and was taken by ambulance. I got there as they were carting her away. When they say don't run, don't run. Ouch. I got pushed by a random person who was mad at me into a beam in the middle and almost needed sticks. Airsoft warden here. Big arena. Indoor paintball style area with an outdoor woodland battleground. Hands down the weirdest thing I've ever witnessed during a live match was 3 dudes in a massive trench coat walking around comically pretending to be one person. They did this in a joking attempt to skirt our rule preventing standing on someone's shoulders to peek over objects. I accidentally spooked them when I went to confront them and they all fell over in a pile. That's the exact reason we don't allow shoulder standing. The weirdest tactic I've ever seen during a pro match was a dude who put a plexiglass riot shield down on a cornered stair landing and later on used it to accurately ricochet rounds onto enemies in the room at the bottom of the stairs. It was allowed for the round, but intentional ricochets were promptly banned. That sounds like the coolest job ever. Not an employee, but one time I kissed my crush the arena. Turned out it was actually someone who looked like her, but was a willing participant anyways. I was 7. Nothing weird, just having to write down incident reports so people could eventually sue the property for all kinds of problems. Suddenly people forget how to walk or do basic things in laser tag. Some guy in a suit and his scary soon-to-be father-in-law came in and took control of the place and recruited all the kids to be on different teams. They eventually betrayed the children at the end after looking at each other and saying woof woof. Ha, nice. I'm currently rewatching it. Not an employee for laser tag, but I once dressed up at the Phantom of the Opera to a laser tag on New Year's Eve. I was wearing a cape, a vest and the mask. It was indoors, at a bowling alley. I was 11. I told the group they couldn't lay down or even touch a wall or their best would go off and they lose. Ended up with a bunch of 9-year-olds crouching in the middle of rooms, making sure not to fall over or peep over the window for fear of being put out. My time has come. I worked at an arcade laser tag arena for 4 years. One of my favorite stories is midnight New Year's Eve. A large group of college-age dudes came in to play around. They finish up and leave as soon as the game ends. The next large group is let into the briefing room and get geared up to go in. The second the door to the arena is opened, we were hit with the smell of crap. After a quick investigation, the source was found. On the second floor of the arena in the corner closest to the exit was a mountain of crap. Too much for one person to possibly have created in one go, like enough for 4 or 5 people squatted in the corner and unleashed unholy terror upon the other's mound. The owner was working that night and asked if there was any chance that we would take care of it, and heck no, there was not. We shut down the arena and give out passes to the other attractions, and the owner go in with mop bucket and an arsenal of cleaning supplies. A few minutes later we hear him shout and went to see what had happened. There is a ramp leading to the second floor of the arena that is covered in mop water and crap, with a pool of it at the bottom slowly growing as the rest trickles down the wooden ramp. The wheels had gotten stuck in a gap in the floor at the top of the ramp and it overturned as he tried to make his way down. Needless to say, the arena didn't open back up that night, and we actually remodeled the arena since so much of the crap stew had soaked into the wood it couldn't be saved. Not an employee, but when I was 10, I walked in on 2 of my teammates fricking in the dark room in the area where we were playing. Never mentioned it until now. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video. Bye for now.